Welcome to Parent Coaches Unleashed, the podcast where we dive into the highs, lows, and did that really just happen moment of parenting teens and young adults. We're Carrie and Jessica, parent coaches, mythbusters, and occasional referees in the battle of hormones versus common sense.
If you've ever wondered, is this just happening to me? You're not alone. We're here to help you with real talk, expert advice, and hopefully a few laughs along the way. Need more support? We also offer private coaching, workshops, and speaking engagements because sometimes even parents don't have all the answers.
So continue listening as we tackle this parenting journey together.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of Parent Coaches Unleashed. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, Jess.
How are you today?
I am doing well. I am super excited for some personal things as the Indiana Hoosiers are going to be
Oh,
playing the Miami Hurricanes, and we happen to live in close to Miami. So, and I'm a Indiana alum, so I am super excited for the game on Monday.
listen, after hearing Fernando Mendoza's story, I don't know how you don't root for him. I love his story, so I'm rooting with you for
Thank you.
Indiana.
Thank you. Yeah, I've never worn my Indiana gear so much than I have in the past month, let's say. And
I just have a really important question for you.
yeah,
Did you buy the overalls?
I did. I did. I bought the red and white striped overalls, and I actually bought 2 pair because there was one that I felt was more like the game day overalls, and the other was just trying to have red and white striped overalls. So I will have 2 options.
Well, I
We'll
think you
see.
wear one on game day and one the day after when to
Oh,
celebrate their
yes.
victory.
There you go.
And we
There.
will, post pictures of those on Instagram
Yes.
for our
Yep.
viewers.
Yep, you can see my, game day winning overalls, and I have to carry around, or I might give one of the kids one of my sweatshirts, but I do have this Good Luck sweatshirt,
Okay.
so I either wear it or have it with me, so I think I'll have one of my kids wear the
All right,
sweatshirt,
or
so
just drape it
alright.
over your shoulders. It should be cold enough.
Anyway, so let's jump in. I don't need to,
No,
hijack
listen,
the
that's important
conversation,
news.
but
That
yeah,
is absolutely important news.
super excited. Go
So,
Hoosiers.
yes, go Hoosiers. I think our conversation today is an important one too. We're talking about making big things small for our kids. Let me give you an example. So, we got new insurance cards for our family, and they probably arrived sometime over the winter break. Avery was home. I told her we're getting new insurance cards. She kind of freaked out a little bit. And
Because you have a new plan for the new
yes, we have a
year?
new
Okay,
plan. Yep.
got
Listen, as an adult, insurance issues can be very difficult, overwhelming, frustrating, all of those things. So Avery's still on our insurance. The rest of the adulting she does. She makes her appointments. She has her own set of doctors. She's up in Orlando. So she takes care of all her things. I did say to her beforehand, you should just check with your regular doctors to make sure they take our new
Mhm.
insurance. And that was it. A couple of weeks later, she's back home and she has a doctor's appointment before work. So let's say 8 o'clock, and we start getting the panic texts.
Uh, we
Yep.
know those. We
Yes.
we all feel what that feels like.
I don't know what to do. They're not taking my insurance. They say we have no benefits. They say they don't take this insurance. What am I supposed to do? I calmly text her back. Here are the numbers. Lonnie's texting her, calm down. So she's getting like mixed texts from both of us. And
So now
finally,
what are you really feeling though? Like when you get those texts, were you anticipating it? Were you
no, what I
expecting
was really
they were gonna come?
feeling was I told you about this 3 weeks ago. You should have called then. That's what I was really feeling.
Right.
However,
It's not
I
gonna be
did not
helpful to say that.
I did
No.
not say that. That is what I was thinking. That is not what I said. In the end, she had to leave. She missed her appointment because the insurance could not be verified because our new carriers are in a different time zone. So they weren't even open yet
To
for the
verify.
provider to verify anything. So that's what we're talking about. Like those moments that feel so big for our kids because it's
Mhm.
their first time dealing with it. How do we make them smaller for our kids? And is it our job to make them feel smaller for
Right.
our kids?
That's a
I'm of
really
the
good question.
so I'm of the belief we don't need to step in and do things for them, but if we can arm them with the most amount of knowledge possible going
Mhm.
into a situation, I feel like that's our job to coach them and guide them through those situations. Now, Lonnie and I don't always see eye to eye on this because a lot of times he'll say, "Nobody showed me how to do that. Nobody
Yeah.
told me what to do. I just did it. I figured it out." And I feel like that becomes a very big controversy today. Letting our kids figure it out for themselves, the extreme of doing it for them, and then somewhere in the middle is we give them all the information we think they might need and we send them out to do it on their own. What do you
Yes.
think?
So I'm somewhere in between. I think if they come to you asking for the information, you share it with them. But your guidance to her was here's the new card, you need to verify. Now, at the moment she's panic texting, you're not going to say, I gave it to you or I told you,
Right.
but
No, I told
I
you so.
might suggest or state at that moment, well, what do you think? Like, what do you think you should do now? Or what did you already do? That might be one of the first questions. Or it's call me, let's stop the back and forth text if you're
Right, right, right.
available to take their call. But here's the thing, and I found myself in a position as a parent, we might be at work. We might be in the middle of an appointment ourselves.
Sure.
We might be driving somewhere or unavailable. And so I think we have to be at that point as a parent. They are adults, assess. And again, we're doing this quickly, right? So sometimes we're on emotion, but is this urgent? And if it's not urgent, maybe we say, I'm in the middle of an appointment myself. I need to get back to you. But I feel like most of us as parents put the needs of our children in this situation first, and we will just stop everything we're doing to help them. So that to me becomes like the question. And I don't think you're a good parent or a bad parent if you choose,
One or the other.
one or the other.
Yeah.
But I think it's critical for us to take that few seconds and say, okay, is this critical? Is it timely? Do I need to stop what I'm doing at this moment to help them? Or is that the moment where they need to figure it out themselves because you did give her the information?
Right. So that's another you just made me think of something else. Something you said triggered this thought. Um, we can prepare them. We can say, this is what you need to do when you get to college. Here's your medicine. Here's your this. Here's your that. Here's your insurance card. This is what you need to do. And it doesn't mean that they're going to do it. You
No.
could tell them and prepare them,
Mhm.
but they might not even be listening. They might be, when did you tell me that? Or I don't remember you sharing that with me.
Right. They're going to prioritize things very differently than we think
Right.
they should prioritize because they haven't done a lot of these things yet. So, for
Right.
insurance wise, they haven't been responsible for giving their providers new insurance. That hasn't been something they've
Sure.
practiced yet. So, the
Yes.
only way to learn it is for them to actually do it, not us do it for them. Because if we keep doing it for them, they're going to keep coming back and we're going to keep getting the panic texts. But if
Absolutely.
there is something in that moment that we can do, and I guess here's the question. Are we trying to remove the stress from them by giving the answers or the steps? Or are we really just trying to give a bit of information or one step or direction that could then send them possibly on a path to figure it out? Now, and I don't know in that moment if we have the ability, because we might be feeling some sort of panic ourselves, assess, okay, so what's the like, go to the end. What's the big deal? She might miss the appointment or she's going to have to pay out of pocket for the appointment if the appointment's that urgent. So there are always solutions. Could she have figured it out on her own? Um,
I think it's 2 things. I think it is not knowing what to do, because I'm sure in the end she would have figured it out. She might not have liked the solution she would have walked away with,
mhm,
but it would have resolved itself sooner or later, and then we could have had a conversation about it later, about what you could do in the future. What I feel like when our emerging adults are put in these situations, it's a lot of the fear of the unknown,
mhm.
not knowing what to expect, not knowing, am I doing the right thing, not knowing what questions to ask. But I think there's also a lot to be said for hands-on experience. You
Yeah,
know, you're going in and you'll figure it out, and you'll see at the end of it, okay, the worst possible scenario in that situation, you have to pay out of pocket or you lose your appointment. That's the worst possible
right,
scenario. So then you just move on, you learn from it, and you
right.
know in the future, before you have an appointment, call your provider and
Mhm.
say, "We have new insurance cards. Can you please go through this with me?" And we've said this before on our podcast, and I love this saying, "I'm new to adulting. Can you please help me?"
Mhm.
And I think that's a great phrase to put out there to the people that you are interacting with on a new independent level.
And one of the answers could also be, if the child is coming to you, like in this situation, you might really not have known what answer to give Avery about the insurance.
Right.
So I think it would be fair to say, I don't know, and then end with that statement. Contact your provider or go to the appointment and say, I'm new to this. What now can I do or should I do? I have the information for
Right.
you. Right. I mean,
Do you think
that's the only guidance we can give. But I know a lot of parents would probably stand back and stop what they're doing and try to figure it out
for them, right? I'll
for
call for
them.
you, or I'm going to call them. Hold on a minute.
Or let me make
That's
let me call, let me make the
right.
appointment, let me figure it out, let me do it in advance,
Right.
or because we make excuses that, "Oh, they're so busy," or "They don't have time in their day." I've heard that one.
Or they've never done this before, let me do it for
Yeah,
them. But then what
they're
are they
never gonna do
learning?
it,
How are
right?
they
Like, you're
right?
gonna make it your an appointment and verify insurance for your 30-year-old? I don't think so.
Right. When does it stop?
Yeah.
This so Avery's 22, she's figuring it out, she's learning about insurance.
Yeah.
I wonder if confidence plays a role in it, how confident your kid is, your young adult, going into these situations. Do you think that plays a role in it?
Yes, I do think confidence plays a role, but I think confidence comes from the fact that they have tried things before
Right.
and failed and then had to figure it out, and or doing these things that you don't know you know how to do and then do them and see it wasn't such a big deal. I know a lot of our kids are panicked with calling on the phone and making their own appointment,
Right. We've got, yeah,
regardless of what that is. Haircut, doctor,
mechanic, yeah,
mechanic, whatever it is,
insurance.
they just aren't comfortable doing it.
Right.
And why aren't they comfortable doing it? Because they don't know the questions to ask, or they've never done it before, or they're afraid if I call and make the appointment, they're going to ask me questions I don't know
The answer
the
to.
answer to. But then when they do it, it's like, oh, that wasn't so difficult.
Right.
Right? I mean,
Right.
in making an appointment, you can call and then try to make the appointment and be asked questions and say, "You know what? I'm not sure. Let me get back to you." And that would be the time you could call your parent or look it up and then call back. So we I think the confidence, you asked me about the confidence. I think it's a mixed bag, but I think the confidence comes when they do it and they did it independently, not with you holding their hand, not with you telling them what to do, when they do it on their own and then they feel success and pride that they did it. So, and the only way for them to build those skills is for us to be hands off.
I feel like I feel like we're describing, like, situational confidence, like,
Mhm.
to get through something you've never done before. You're going in, you have some trepidation, you're not quite sure what it's going to look like, as I said before, the fear of the unknown, but I feel like when you come out of that situation, you walk out with your head held a little higher, like, I did it, I figured it out, and I got through it. I just feel like we don't give our kids enough credit for
Yes.
what they are actually
Yes.
able to do on their own.
Or here's one that so we don't feel confident that they can do it because they've never done it before. Or the other part that holds us back from just giving them the task is we don't think they're going to do it in the same way that we do it. So we'd rather have it done our way,
Right,
which shouldn't I mean you're actually not allowing your child to grow and be independent, right? I mean sometimes I have a hard time seeing how my children, my guys, my males in my life, right? I live with all males,
right,
go about completing tasks that they need to do. It
right,
is very different than I do it, and but they're doing it on their own. So I cannot make a judgment or an opinion on how they're doing it
right,
because they're doing it themselves. Now,
and they have to
if
find
it's
that.
uncomfortable for me, I might have to walk away. I might not have to ask about it, right? Like
Right,
there are things that I have to do myself so that I don't nitpick or get
but
judgy
you're
on what
aware
they
of that,
did. I'm
and you
aware.
don't sit there and hover
No.
and say, "I wouldn't do it that way," or
Mm-mm.
I know a better way to do that," or, "What are you doing? I mean,
Yep.
I give you credit for
No,
that because
no.
I'm sure
So
it's
I
not
have this
easy.
one, and this is really catty, but I observed my brother when I was staying at his house. His kids got back from a vacation. They literally just came in the door and they must have discussed laundry. Okay. Now, you know how it is when you all still live together and you're coming back from a big vacation and there's all the laundry and suitcases that need to be done.
Mhm.
One of the boys, who's 21, was first in line. He started which I was impressed. My kids would never, the minute we got back from a vacation,
Start.
start doing their laundry.
Right.
Now, again, we don't now live all together, so I don't see when they
What they
do
do.
it, how
Right.
they do it, but they're still living together. So he starts right away to do his laundry. And, you take the laundry and the liquid detergent has a cup.
Uh-huh.
So for me, you have two options. You pour the liquid in the cup, and then from the cup, you pour it
Into
into
the
the washing
dispenser.
machine,
Right.
or you go directly with the laundry
The
detergent and
detergent.
go right into
The machine.
the laundry
Yep.
itself.
Either cup or skip the cup. Right.
Kipper stuff, right. So my 21-year-old nephew decided to pour it in the cup first. My brother went crazy on him. What do you do? Like, and I was like, oh my God. I said nothing. I just watched. But it was that moment where I was like, you're missing the part that you got home from a vacation
And he's
and
doing
he's doing the
his
laundry.
laundry.
But for some reason, you want to still tell him or ask him why he's doing it that way. You just do it exactly, the way that my brother obviously does it. But I
Did
don't
your
know
nephew have
what.
a response to him? Was there an
Well,
outcome or
part of me felt like it was because we were in a conversation in the kitchen and he's talking to me while he's doing it. So it just made more sense to put it in. No, he didn't. He just was like, whatever. Like, and my brother's like, do it this way. So he just listened and went back. So he's not going to argue at this moment
Right,
about
right, right.
the
A cup or
laundry,
it's a
but
cup or not a cup?
parents out
No,
there, do
I
we have
that's
issues like that where we're inserting ourselves in ways that's taking away the independence or decision making from our child? Like, what are we doing? Are
you
we
know what drives me crazy? The emptying of the dishwasher when and my husband is guilty of this too, and I really think it might just be my husband and not the kids. Wh when they put everything back in the wrong place.
Oh, when you say it's your turn to empty the
Right,
dishwasher and then
and
they
things I'm
do
like,
it
"Where
and
is this?
things are
Where"
just
right.
random?
Yes. Mhm. That one drives
Yeah.
me crazy, but they're emptying the dishwasher, so
Alright, if we're talking dishwashers, what's happening now is instead of pulling out the racks and loading, they just open the dishwasher and shove it right in the front.
Wherever it can right, wherever
Whatever
there's
right
a
there.
space in the
No
front, that's where
plates
it's go.
there, coffee cups there, because they don't wanna open and pull the whole drawer out to line it up. So, if I were to go back and do the same thing, if I opened, I would it would appear that the entire dishwasher was full because the cups and and everything are at the front, but no, I open it, I pull the whole drawer out, and then I have to move
You have to reorganize
everything to the
everything.
back to then load. Now, should I at this moment say, "Hey, could we load the dishwasher this way?" Because it's just lazy loading, but then I know everyone would make an excuse. "I'm in a rush. You should just be happy that I put it in the
Right.
dishwasher." And so that's why I choose to
Or
say
passive
nothing.
aggressive, you can, put a diagram of
No,
how to load the
no,
dishwasher correctly.
no. That's where I say to
I'm kidding.
myself, "Is this a battle worth
Is it worth
fighting?"
it? Right,
Because it's actually loaded in the dishwasher and not sitting in the sink, so I'll let it go. But
right.
anyway, we completely digressed
Completely off topic,
because those,
tangent.
in my mind, aren't big things
Right.
that we
But
have to
let's
make
talk about some
small.
things that are big things for our
Yes.
kids
So
that we
let's
can
talk
help.
about the cars, right? If
Mm,
our
yep,
children have their own cars now, or even if they're borrowing and using our cars, so they're responsible for mechanical issues and taking the car, when the light indicator goes on, that there's a
sure.
problem with the car, instead of just saying, "Hey, mom, dad, the light went on."
So,
Going the step to figuring out what's wrong with your car.
we sent the kids at an early it's like, almost like when they started driving was something needed to be done, we sent them right away on their own to figure it out. For it's interesting because the mechanic is one of those things that I used to get anxiety about doing because I feel like it was instilled in me that mechanics will try to take advantage of
Mm,
women. So, I always went there with that preconceived notion that they're gonna tell me I need an extra filter, they're going to tell me that this needs to be changed, they're going to tell me all these things, and I'm like, "Do I really need that? How do I know?" So, that allowed me to prepare my kids
mhm,
for what to say to the mechanic, and that was how I presented it to them.
mhm,
"Listen, they might say this to you, they might say that to you, they might tell you you need this. All you're doing is saying, 'No, thank you, I just want my tires rotated,' or 'No, thank you, I just need you to check the oil and make sure it's not leaking.'" Whatever you're going there for, just stick to that.
mhm,
If you're unsure, if they're telling you you need something and you don't really know, just call and we'll
mhm.
talk you through it.
Yeah, my kids are pretty good with the regular maintenance, right? So knowing
Mhm.
when the oil change needs to be done and the tire rotation, but they actually take the time, and this isn't something I taught them, it's just something on their own that they've done. Like, they actually will, like, Google, like, when a light indicator goes on,
Yep,
try to figure out what that means and what it is it urgent? Then they do a little research on, like, should I take it to the dealer or should I just go to my closest local place? One time though, like, there was a major issue with one of the cars,
right.
and it was like that moment of I didn't even know, like, is it safe to tell my my kid to drive?
Right, right, right.
Because he started looking it up when
You
he
know
saw, and he was like, "Oh my god, like, it says, like, I should not be driving the car. It's not safe." So, I was like, "Alright, well, let me look into it." So, I did some calling, I talked to Ken about it, and then we kinda made a joint decision together because I didn't know, right? I mean, if he went off on his own, he probably would have left his car and called a tow truck, which would have been fine too, because he did end up driving to the closest
mechanic.
mechanic, and the guy said, "You're actually really lucky. Your brakes could have completely
Oh my
gone
gosh,
out."
wow.
Yeah. So,
Okay, note to self.
note to
What to
self,
do when this happens next time.
brake issues,
Right,
don't drive your car.
right. So,
But I
oh my
have
god.
boys, so, like, is the difference between boys, having boys and having girls, would we feel just as confident or safe sending our daughters to the mechanic, taking
Well,
care of it on their own?
here's the thing, there's gonna come a time when one of us is not able to go to the mechanic with Avery, and she's going to have to figure it out for herself.
Mhm.
But I think if you teach them, just walk in there confidently. You know what you're there for. Don't let them talk you into anything else.
Yeah.
And the opposite of that, what's the worst that happens? So they change your filters. So is that so bad?
Right.
So
So
you're
you're
paying a little
paying
extra,
for
but
something that maybe you didn't need right then and there.
right.
Right, that's the
Okay.
worst case, yeah. I even have that situation myself happen where I feel like every time I go,
Yep.
they show me the AC filter. So they pull out a filter. I don't know if it came from my car or not, right? I'm
Right.
assuming it did, but they might just have this one
One dirty
that they show
filter that
everybody. Look at all the bugs and the
right, right, right.
grossness in your AC filter. Well, of course, I'm gonna be like, "Yes,
Oh my god, yeah.
yes,"
That's
but it's
terrible.
happened routinely. So I'm like, "Huh, does my AC filter get that dirty?
So
Or
you
are they pulling one over every time because this is some easy way that the dealer can make money every time?"
you brought up a point that I want to highlight. You said your boys are very good at researching what is wrong with their car. They're
Mhm,
Googling it. If we go back to our episode from a couple of weeks ago about AI and
mhm,
ChatGPT, most of this information can
yeah,
so readily be found.
mhm,
And it could even get to the point where our kids can put in, I'm going to the mechanic for the first time. What should I say?
yeah,
And there it's a great resource for
yeah,
our kids that we didn't have. They can put in any situation that might be coming up for them and use it as a guide. Not saying verbatim, say what ChatGPT is telling you to do, but it's absolutely there as an additional resource,
yeah, that's
just
a
like we
great
Google.
that is a great idea and a great tool because they can use it in any of the situations.
Right. This
Calling
is
for
my scenario.
appointments,
Yep.
walking into an office you've never been in before, right? All of those how to
Banking.
prepare themselves bank, right, going into the
Banking is a
bank,
big one
yes.
for us, the finances.
Right. Has your child ever needed to get a cashier's check? We had that.
Oh, we
Yep,
haven't come across that one yet.
yep. So, I was like, "You'll need to go into the bank." So
Right.
make sure, go into the bank, tell them this is what and they'll guide you through it.
Yep.
So,
And
it's
a bank
funny
that you bank at so you can avoid any fees or
so funny because after Devin did it, he then schooled me because months later, I needed cash or more money than, like, I was able to take out of my ATM at that given time or that given day. So he's like, "Mom, like you told me, just go into the bank and I was like, "Oh, duh," right? Like,
a
we forget
full
about that
circle
because we're so used to doing everything on our phone, transferring money, sending money, going to the ATM.
and
I was like, "Oh,
when the
thank you.
student becomes the master.
Thank you so much."
We gotta love that when our
But
kids
I
throw
love
back.
I do. Some people it can make them feel stupid, but I actually get so much pleasure when my kids school me
Yep,
because I just feel like wow, and it's not like a reflection on me where I'm like, "Oh my god, I taught them so well." It's like, good for them. Like it just
right,
more um evidence that just I can say they're adulting.
right.
Right? That they're doing this.
Not only that, but I think there is a little bit of they're learning, they're
Mhm.
learning and they listened, they heard what I said and they're figuring it out and they're giving it back to me.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know how they would feel if after they did something that appeared so large, right? And then they ended up doing it and it was like, okay, it wasn't really that big, it was small. If we would go to them to say, what was it about it that felt so large that ended up being like, do you think that would be a good approach to take or just leave it alone and be like, "It was accomplished, let's not go back and revisit it," making it sound larger than maybe it really was?
So
You just let them
I
know
I
whatever they feel about it?
my personal opinion is why? Like,
Yeah.
it's not you we don't debrief every time we come home from the doctor and like,
Yeah.
oh, how did your questions go? Did you know the right things to ask? If anything, I would say do that before. If you know that a
Mhm.
situation is causing your child some anxiety, I would say, let's look at this. What is making you feel anxious about
Mhm.
what might happen? Let's talk it through. And then they're going in hopefully feeling a little more confident and a little more prepared, and you're able to take this big thing for them and making it smaller.
Right. All right. So, final question. Is it our responsibility as parents to make the big things small?
So that's, I feel like, how we started this. And I'm still standing by. If I have information for my child on a situation that they've never been through before and they want my help, I will gladly give it to them.
Mhm.
But I would start by saying, do you want me to walk you through this? Do you want to
Mhm.
talk about this? Are you good? Do you have it? And then maybe if something comes up, I'm not available or I am available, whatever it is. Um, but I think it's important to talk about it beforehand, not after the fact, to help make it more manageable for them if it's
Got
what
it.
they want. What
Got
do you
it.
think?
I don't know. I'm still sitting in the middle
Okay.
where I think that sometimes things being big for our children is okay. And it's not always our job to try to make it small. Um, because what is wrong with things being big? Like I feel like it's a negative message that we're saying to our child, however old they are, adult, teenager, when they have a big reaction, like they're allowed to have a big reaction
Yep.
and think it's a big deal and panic about it. Like all those things should be normal emotions that they feel to work through it. Now, if it paralyzes and they absolutely can do nothing, then I feel okay to step in. But I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to think about it the next
Okay.
time it really happens.
And see if you
Um,
do anything differently.
and see if I do anything different. My initial reaction, right, as I look back at my old parenting, as I've shifted, is was to fix. So
Right.
I don't do that anymore. I still feel that way a little bit, like bubbling up, like that's my instinct, but I stop
Sure.
it. So I would go to, what did you already try, or what's your first step? Like try to push it back, rather. And if they come back and say, I did this and this, it doesn't work. What do you think? Or what next? Then I would step in and share.
Or put it on Chat GPT and see what they tell you to do.
Exactly. Exactly. So, all right. We want to hear from you guys. What big things have happened in your child, adults' lives that you stepped in or didn't? We want to hear some more scenarios or how it went for you. We
Yes.
would
And
love your
also,
feedback.
after listening to us, is there something you would go back and change or
Mhm.
that you can offer to another parent that you would do differently?
Yeah. So feel free, reach out to us on Instagram, send us a DM, or email us at info@parentcoachesunleashed.com. And we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for listening. And go
Go.
Hoosiers.
Take care, everybody.
Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of Parent Coaches Unleashed with Carrie and Jessica. Together, we can raise the next generation of independent, capable, and compassionate young adults.
We encourage you to send us an email with questions and feedback to info@parentcoachesunleashed.com. Please remember, you are not alone on this parenting journey.